So, title update 1. Yep, that's about right. Hello, my fellow hunters. I hope you are all enjoying title update 1, as I indeed am. And I wanted to take a moment and essentially just talk about it, because it's fair to say there are some strong opinions out there. I think by and large, the majority of us are just having a lovely time doing all the new things. It's very awesome to see a spike of over 500,000 hunters get back into wilds with the update. It bodes very well for the longevity of the game, as does the ridiculous 10 million in sales. But that doesn't really help answer the question of if Title Update 1 is a certified banger. And in my humble opinion, I think it is exceptionally solid. And we actually did do a bit of a deep dive recently on all the Title Update 1s that have happened, and Wilds is very much up there. It's only really Sunbreak Title Update 1 that can stand toe-to-toe with it, with its 4 monsters, the Forlorn Arena, and Anomaly Investigations, and the new systems we got with that. This time around then, we get Mizutsune with the incredible Soul Seer infusion that honestly almost feels like getting a deviant on top of the base monster in the same update. It's just kind of fused into one. High rank Shia finally, and then the Grand Hub itself. Endgame has gained triple the variety with now 3 8-star hunts to choose from. It's not just Tempered Arkveld Simulator. And in general, I think there is a lot of hourage of stuff to do and a lot of things to marvel at. On a personal level, the theory crafting, the testing of the new skills in the armor has been immensely satisfying. I think whiteflame torrent is a really wonderful addition. It might not be strictly the new meta-defining way to go, but as a design, it's beautiful, because the slower you are, or the worse you're set, or just the more comfortable you like to build, the better and better it gets. So for just a normal hunter hunting normally, it's a really solid option that is also a lot of fun to use. I really love the concept of a skill that scales in effectiveness the less speedrunnery you are, and I think that's a design space that can and should be explored further. I'm also, of course, particularly fond of the fact that Zoshir armor gives us Valhazak Recovery or Kushala Blessing, which is just Immortality Dreamland, and yes, that will be coming very, very soon, next couple of days, so look forward to that. It's ridiculously good now, and all in all, based on the sheer hourage of theory crafting me, Cotton, have done, yeah, I am very, very pleased with the additions. I think a lot of people maybe were disappointed that Artian hasn't immediately been power crept by Zoshia weapons, and on the surface I can totally get that. But I think the reality is the Artian system is such a big deal for the game, it's an entire grind. The RNG of rolling it, if it was immediately made kinda pointless a month in, it would sort of be a waste of time. And obviously if layered weapons were already in game, it's nice that they're confirmed and they're coming, but if they were already here, I don't think anyone would have a problem with the new weapons in Title Update 1 not just immediately being the best. And the thing is, to have a little bit of perspective, if Zoshia weapons were just now the best, we'd all swap to them, we'd all be happy, they look gorgeous, but a month, 2 months from now, as we wait for Title Update 2, we're just going to be back in the same position, right? Where we're like, oh, I'm just sick of seeing these white angelic whackers everywhere. I just want to use something else, please. All layered weapons, I can't wait. You know, it doesn't necessarily matter that it's Artian. The issue is that to use the best weapon inherently means that you're always going to be looking at the same weapon, and people want to have their cake and eat it too, i.e. have maximum DPS, but look at a sexy sword. And there's nothing wrong with that. I fall into the same camp. I just don't think it's inherently fair to be upset with the title update for not replacing Artian, because that's not really the title update's problem to solve. in that sense. Though I do definitely think and agree that layered weapons should have just been here to begin with, because I don't think it would have been that hard to foresee this whole Artian situation happening, and maybe rushing it into Title Update 1 would have gone a long way. But hey, at least it is on the way. Outside of that though, before we even talk about monsters, the Grand Hub. Wait, sorry, I forgot the subtitles. And they're just the funniest, those Wyverian diva singer people. For real though, what a beautiful addition. This right here is probably the definition, the epitome of that Monster Hunter special something. That extra layer of detail and world enrichiness. Because a lot of people, oh, maybe not a lot of people, but maybe a vocal minority, really have this sort of, if it's not the killing of the monsters and making of the higher damage sets and then killing of the more monsters and I want it hard and I just want bosses and fights, then I don't care, it's a waste of time. And I can't get behind that, accept it or understand it in the slightest. Monster Hunter has always been so much more than just a boss fighting game, chiefly because of the nature and the ecology of the monsters, the animal of them, yes, that's known, but everything else around it, the characters, the quirks, the world, the extra layers that don't need to be there strictly for a functional video game with a fun combat system, but add so much around you to the environment, you know, the vibes. And Monster Hunter has always been a game with the vibes, and that makes everything you do in it so much better. And I feel like the Grand Hub is such a testament to that. It is packed, it is massive. Everywhere you look there is wonderful things to behold, from big lore implicating just casual NPC conversations to the covenant of the Downy Crake god, all the way to, yes, the Diva's performance. It's just filled with the heart and soul of Monster Hunter, and I really adore it. Obviously, it's a hot take. The title update's just come out. It's new, but to me, the Grand Hub might well be on its way to just the best hub we've had. And by that I don't mean the best village. I will always have a special fondness for Kokoto Village as the very first I called home, but hub, you know, Celiana, the Astera ship, your Elgado, your Kimura Village. I think Elgado is especially up there, and that's the one I'm having the most difficulty deciding between, but as a place to gather with hunters, that typical hub, you know, it's just incredible. And then finally we do get to the monsters. So Shia, of course, isn't new, it's just the low rank fight put high rank, but it's the perfect sweet spot of difficulty. It really has you sit up without being bullshit. It's a stern test, it is epic, it is grandiose, the phases, the elements, I mean, we know the fight, we love the fight, but now that fight with actual stakes behind it, with some oomph and some kick, it's become so much more than the sum of its parts. This Black Dragon Guardian medley, it's a perfect package as far as I'm concerned, and it is only competing with Shara Ishvalda for my favourite modern final boss. Again, Gogbazios will always have my top spot. Well, I guess not always, who knows what they might do, but still, he is the one for me. But in modern 5th gen onwards Monster Hunter, it's either Shara or Xochitl, and currently I think Xochitl might just be edging it out. So actually getting it proper to fight, and I love the justification and the story of why it's back. It's doing Nergigante's shtick, but better, because, you know, the Fatalis, the old Fatalis like armor will cover you and grow into a new Fatalis, they're kind of playing on that, and just this whole sort of further revelation of, you know, maybe putting the DNA of this psychopathic, human-hating, world-destroying Black Dragon isn't the best idea. Who would have thought that into, like, just the descriptions of Xochitl and weapons? weapons, yeah, I love that. And then Soulseer itself, look, the fact I'm even calling it Soulseer says a lot. Mizutsune. The tempered version at 8-star is a brutal but lovely challenge. I massively enjoy it, and just having Mizutsune back, while it wouldn't be my choice, it's gorgeous in its Wilds rendition. The colours, the bubbles, the lighting, how it plays out, it really is well done, and honestly, just from choosing a monster so you can see how wonderful it can look in Wilds perspective, yeah, Mizutsune is quite the choice. Having some violet moves in there from the flaming water beams, and then obviously Soulseer. The biggest thing for me is this idea of deviantification in the middle of a fight, and it's something I want to have an entire conversation about. Blinding the Mizutsune with a head break, and then, oh no, here we go, blind Soulseer mode, flaming blue, even prettier bubbles. I mean, it is excellent. The speed and the intensity as it gets low is like reminiscent of Bloodbath Diablos. Obviously not as extreme, but certainly up there, and I think it is a solid addition. And then your arena and your challenges like that, even the barrel bomb bowling, again, that's, you know, you don't need to do that kind of thing, but they did. They thought it'd be fun to do an official barrel bomb rolling with points and rewards, because why not? Because Monster Hunter, that's the stuff that adds to the fabric of the game, and it's everywhere, and getting more of it in title updates is wonderful. Knowing that we are going to get additions that isn't literally just new monster on map with new equipment, okay, go. That might be the most important thing, but getting stuff surrounding it is what gives it that body. And yeah, the arena is certainly up there, the various different weapon challenges. I will admit, it's the worst thing in the world that they count on your guild card. I am heartbroken for me and all of you guys with pure cards out there that have been sullied. However, now we have no excuse not to go and play the other weapons, I suppose. Oh. In any case, there is a lot of good here, and I think in a vacuum, there's no reason not to look at this as a solid lot of new content that's going to add a fair amount of playtime and keep us all happy until, well, the next title update. The thing is, it's not even the next title update, it's the May update that has the 8 stars of the Apexes, and even then, it's, you know, your Arch-Tempered Ray Dow in a couple of weeks. That's also just another thing that's going to do all of this again with new armor and potentially new meta builds and shakeups or even ways to play. And who knows how they'll do Arch-Tempered this time. We might even get Arch-Tempered weapons. I don't think it's likely, but the point is, things are bright. And I really think it's a solid opening volley of post-launch support, and I'm very, very pleased with it. From what we know we're getting still on the roadmap, from what we've already got in Title Update 1, from the sales that they would be silly to ignore, I think it's safe to say that Wilds is going to be the most supported Monster Hunter ever, which is only a good thing. But of course, the gamut in the room is the whole, well, all of this content should have just been here to begin with, and even like Arch-Tempered Ray Dow should have just been part of this, why are they delaying it? Now, this is a difficult one to kind of talk around, because on one hand, I can totally see it. Yes, it is weird that Shia wasn't just part of the base game. The only kind of counterexample we have of that is All Mother Nawa also not being in base Rise, and there we know that happened because of COVID complications with the dev cycle, so the actual story had to get finished with title updates. But the story was finished in Wilds. It's not like we were left hanging. Low rank was the story. This is an endgame edition. So I don't think that's quite the same. And ultimately, I think that even if, let's say, outright, we knew for a fact they were like, yep, it was supposed to be in base, it's not, it's here as an update with some extras that were going to be part of the update, and, you know, have fun, we hope. Even if that was the case, it still kind of doesn't matter, because base Wilds that we got had hundreds of hours of content and playtime, doing everything, farming everything, enjoying everything. So it's hard to feel like it really needed it. It's not like Base Wilds to me felt like it was missing something. It felt like it was missing a truly difficult endgame challenge, that's certainly for sure, but past that, I think it was a really complete, solid base Monster Hunter game. And now we get this and another chunk of stuff to do. And I kinda like that sort of spread outness. I like that Arch-Tempered Raydow's coming in a couple weeks, because if he does have armor that shakes everything up, I would have rather had this now where we get to have fun theory crafting and farming Zoshia and Mizutsune, and then do it again in 2 weeks, as opposed to it all at once, and if Raydow is just best, then essentially Zoshia would have been skipped in terms of its endgame build relevance, which I think would be a shame. I'd rather get a new monster every 2 weeks for the entire year than get 26 new monsters at once, if that makes sense. To me, that's more of a fun kind of up and down cycle. I might be alone there, and obviously that's an extreme example, but I think there is certainly merit to that. There's obviously merit from Capcom's side of things, because it does create these spikes in play, it keeps the game relevant, but that also keeps it relevant for us as a community. The time between title updates remains exciting, and you still feel that encouragement to play because you know new content is coming. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as the final title update for World, for Iceborne, for Sunbreak finished, I definitely felt well, this Monster Hunter is done now. It's on stasis, it's in its historic state, that's kind of it. But as long as you know there's more content to come, it kind of gives it, yeah, this is the current Monster Hunter, let's do it, I can't wait to see what's next. And I think psychologically that's quite nice. Though I think I'm perhaps getting adrift of the main point here, which is to say the only way that I think it's disappointing in Title Update 1 being what it is if it's cost us potential updates ahead of time. Let's say if they already had title updates 1 through 5 planned and done, and because of some base game stuff having to get moved to a title update, let's say what was going to be title update 5 is now completely gone forever, and then 4 has become 5 and so on. That would be a shame, but given that they didn't even know they were going to do Fatalis as a title update until everyone really clamoured and asked for it upon seeing its new model in the anniversary video, I think it's safe to say it might not be that defined. I think it's a lot more fluid with what can and will be in title updates, and I find it very unlikely to believe that could have happened. So to me, we've got a load of new stuff, all of it's very fun, very worthwhile, has been very enjoyable to crack down into and explore, and I can't wait to see what's going to come next. And it looks like on the grand scale we are going to get so much post-launch content for Wilds, more than any other 5th gen, and of course now we're 6th gen, Monster Hunter game. And I think, by and large, there is just positives to be taken here. Of course, there are still issues, every game has them, every Monster Hunter game has them, that will always be a thing. But I know that I have had a hell of a lot of fun with this, and in fact, essentially everyone I've talked to personally, and most people that I can see, have the same kind of thoughts. Let me know what you think, though, of course, on everything I've said here. For now, though, like you've enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below. And until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.